Just got out of court. Naresh Bhatt's trial isn't going to start until October 2026. His case was supposed to begin September 2025 in just a couple months, but the defense asked for a continuance, saying that they did not have enough time to properly prepare for trial. So because of that and other scheduling issues, I'm not driving, by the way, it is now going to be October 2026. So I mentioned in my earlier video that the rumor I had heard was July 2026, and that is what the defense originally asked for. However, the Commonwealth said that they couldn't accommodate that because of other trials. So then they had gone back and forth prior to the hearing and had come up with this October date. Judge Irving was very much against this entire thing. If it were up to her, she would have given them a couple of extra weeks to go through the discovery and then hopefully start the trial. But they said that a couple of weeks isn't going to make a difference. They need several more months. And again, part of the issue is the holidays, right? So they didn't want to get into the 2025 holidays. They were worried about the jury pool. Judge Irving said that they're going to be subpoenaing over 300 additional citizens for jury duty for this case. They need a large jury pool to pull from. And any time a trial that's this high profile is near holidays, that makes it tough. So she was even worried about starting it in October because of the holidays. So anyway, Judge Irving was shocked when Mr. Ben Alverham, Naresh's attorney, asked for October. She said, quote, "The idea that you need 2 years to get ready is mind-blowing." And it would be 2 years. So right now we're coming up at the end of July 2025 is going to be the 1-year anniversary of Naresh getting charged. So he's been in jail right now for almost a year. So by the time this trial gets started, he will be in the Prince William County jail for over 2 years. She's really concerned about the fact that the prosecution's calling 24 expert witnesses, their availability in September of next year, or October of next year, because it's so far away. But Ben Alverham was very emphatic that he needs more time. And he said, "We routinely continue murder cases for a year." He said that this is no different, and that even though right now Virginia doesn't have the death penalty, he said that if they did, this would likely be a capital case. And he said that because, this is basically as high stakes as it gets, he needs time. And she did argue with him a little bit, saying that he wasn't charged with aggravated murder. So if he's charged with aggravated murder and gets found guilty of that, then it is life without the possibility of parole. They didn't make it aggravated, so he does have the possibility of parole potentially. But Ben Alverham kind of brought up, and this is all a little aside, that he kind of made a dig at the Commonwealth, saying, like, look, we all know that even though he may have the chance of parole, when somebody gets sentenced to life in murder in Virginia, they don't really get let out unless they're old and dying and the Commonwealth doesn't want to pay for their health care anymore. But basically what it came down to is Mr. Ben Alverham said, quote, "I can't be prepared to try this trial for Mr. Bhatt without a continuance." He then pointed, and he made a good point, right? Which is that he has a massive caseload as a public defender, and he's basically the lead public defender. So the high profile cases, the difficult ones, they all go to him. And he brought up that he has several murder trials coming up between now and October of next year. So that made scheduling and preparing difficult. He also pointed out, which I didn't know, he said that Prince William County is the largest Commonwealth's attorney's office in Virginia. He said that Prince William County is half the size of Fairfax County, but they have twice the number of Commonwealth attorneys, which I found interesting. And his office, the public defender's office, does not have nearly as many. So there just aren't enough other attorneys in the PD's office that he can push these other cases off onto. Now, Sarah Sammy got up for the Commonwealth, and she said that the Commonwealth is fully prepared to go to trial this September 2025. However, they want to avoid any appealable issues, so they do not object to the defense's request for continuance. So, I mean, that's self-explanatory, right? They're afraid that if they object and this trial goes ahead in September, Naresh gets found guilty, boom, that's an easy issue on appeal, and that's one that you could very easily win. When an attorney gets up and says, I simply did not have enough time to prepare an adequate defense for my trial, I mean, that's a solid reason. And the Commonwealth, as much as they want to get this going and they want to get this over with, they absolutely do not want to give any ammunition for an appeal. And that's what they would be doing if they were to object to this. So Judge Irving was very much not happy about any of it. But, you know, she's like, okay, you guys agreed, you know, you're not objecting. She can't really stand in the way either. So she went ahead and agreed to it. So right now they're blocking off 7 weeks for the trial. They don't think they're going to need any of that. Again, that's just for scheduling purposes. They just want to make sure that everybody is available for 7 weeks. But right now the trial is scheduled to start on October 5th, 2026.
Reported ahead.
Sorry, my Waze is going off. And then it is blocked out until November 19th, 2026. The pre-trial is scheduled for September 10th, 2026. Then at the end, Judge Irving spoke directly to Naresh and reminded him that he does have the right to a speedy trial. He did already waive his right to a speedy trial, but I think if you wanted to kind of take that back at this point, he could. And he started shaking his head. Like when she was going through it, like, you know, I just want you to know you're going to be in jail until October of next year. He was sitting at the defense table, shaking his head. And Judge Irving is like, you know, told his lawyer, he's like, you know, speak to your client, make sure that he knows what's going on. They got the interpreter, Mr. Ben Alverham, and he had what looked to be somewhat of a heated discussion, but at the end of it, you know, Naresh nodded and said that was okay. I mean, he didn't say that, but, you know, he said yes. So he is going to be in the Prince William County Jail until October 2026 when this trial starts. If you have any other questions, let me know. But yeah, it was a huge disappointment. You know, it raises a lot of questions about Mamta's mother, brother, the baby. You know, they're staying here with the baby until all of this gets resolved, because remember, Naresh Bhatt still has parental rights. He hasn't been convicted of anything. He's still that little girl's father. So they can't really take her anywhere right now. You know, they're her guardians at the moment, but that's not permanent. So the issue of what they're going to do for the next year is something that's definitely up in the air, and I don't have the answers to that. Of course, if I hear anything, I'll let you know. But yeah, it was a wild day in court. Not what anybody was expecting. I mean, I think worst case scenario, we were expecting July. None of us went in there this morning thinking October. So it's very disappointing, but I get where they're coming from, unfortunately. So yeah, if you have questions, let me know.